I went to therapy, but these three completely random everyday things supercharge the results. In this video, you'll see how sometimes completely random things can absolutely shift your mood. So let's get into it. Number one, and this is my absolute favorite, and it is the Merlin app. Now, this, if you haven't heard of it, is an app that monitors birdsong and monitors where birds are. And it's done for scientific research. It's completely free of charge on the App Store. And essentially, what you do is you press record, and it will record all the birdsong around you and identify which birds are there. And this sounds completely random. And you're like, why is this going to help me? How is this going to help me? Well, I never actually downloaded it for my mental health at all. I actually downloaded it because I just genuinely am interested in what birds are in my garden. But what I found through using it was that actually I became really present with myself in my garden. Every time I went outside, I would have my app playing so I knew which birds were singing to me. And what I realized was actually, even when I didn't have the app going, I could start to recognize the birds. So I'd be like, oh, that's a robin, or that's a blackbird, or whatever birds you have in your garden. But what I found was it started to really cultivate presence and being in the moment. So when you're in the moment, you forget what your mood is. And I personally have suffered with quite a lot of depression, with quite a lot of anxiety. And what I've found is that when I find things that can really bring me out of that, it's things that really make me focus in the here and so what that meant with this bird app was that actually I was starting to pay attention. Even when I didn't have my phone on me, I was starting to recognize the bird song, and it was bringing me into the present moment, which was really soothing. And not only that, but it's been proven that hearing bird song relaxes your nervous system, because from an evolutionary point of view, birds simply don't sing when there's danger or a threat. So just on the level of being present, but also on the level of an evolutionary kind of advantage, this app really, really changed my life. So if you do one thing from this video, I recommend you downloading that app. And I've just popped it here, but I'll also put it in the show notes too, so you can get a direct link to the App Store. Okay, number two of non-therapy things that really supercharged my recovery from depression and anxiety. This would be actually reading or listening to audiobooks, but specifically with storylines with female characters that are working on a similar thing to you. So for me, I found a lot of solace in, probably quite basic, but romantasy books. So books by Sarah J. Maas, for example, like A Court of Thorn and Roses, or by Rebecca Yarros, such as Fourth Wing, and then the whole romantasy genre, of which I'll drop in the bottom of the show notes so you can see the books that really helped me. And what I found was they took a female character who was maybe insecure, not sure of her place in life, not sure of her purpose, and really transformed her character arc from there to being the main character of her own life and really being empowered and standing in her own power, which is stuff that we were really working on in therapy when I was going through. What I found by reading these books was firstly escapism from my own brain. They're very addictive books, and I loved that I could get out of my own head and into somebody else's life for an hour or so each night. But also, I listened to and read so many that genuinely, by immersion therapy, it became the character arc of me as well. I literally would remind myself in low moments or in moments where I felt disempowered or I felt like things were hopeless. For example, anybody that's read Throne of Glass, I would say to myself, you do not yield. You do not yield. Or similar in Acotar, you do not yield, you bow to no one. So I would always repeat these in my head, even though I never realized I'd consciously necessarily taken them on board. But what this meant was actually I started to cultivate that main character energy in my own life, and that naturally improved my mood. Okay, the third and last thing that really helped me work in tandem with my therapy journey was actually learning and being creative. When I was really low and anxious, stopped being curious and stopped finding joy in things and stopped being creative and stopped being lighthearted, and everything just felt heavy and desolate. So, what I actually started to do was pick a subject that I had a glimmer of interest in. So, in my case, it was astrology and tarot, and just started to learn little bits about it and get excited about the learning process, get excited about the curiosity. And I started to get these flickers of high energy and excitement and joy as I learned stuff and as things started to click. It was the same with art and things like that, like starting painting again, starting drawing again, starting writing poetry again, that, trust me, is terrible and no one will see. But what it did do was start to bring me glimmers of joy back, which really started to help lighten my mood and really work with the therapy I was doing. And essentially, what it was connecting to things that I really enjoyed when I was about 7 or 8 years old. It was things like art, poetry, being creative, learning new, exciting things. All the things that I really loved when I was younger, I just brought into my adult life. And you'd be amazed at how much it can start to shift your mood and how much that momentum starts going, that your mood stays joyful, your mood stays lighter. And it might not be all day, every day, but the peaks of joy seem to extend a little bit longer and longer every time. So I'd really recommend doing that too. Anything that you enjoyed when you were younger and were interested in, see if you can reconnect back with that part of you and see if that helps shift your mood too as you're working through therapy. I did warn you at the start of this video that they were quite random things that had helped me. But as I say, the number one thing I would do if you took anything from this video is download that Bird app, because it is so much fun and makes you so present. But if you feel like you've got space to do more, definitely find a fictional genre that you enjoy, that gives you some escapism and gives you some inspiration for who you want to be and how you want to be the main character in your life. And then the third thing is reconnecting with what you really enjoyed as a child to spark curiosity and excitement and lightness, even if it's just for a glimmer for 5 minutes in your day, just to start to shift your mood from maybe hopeless and despairing to something that feels a little bit lighter. I really hope you found these helpful today. All the info will be in the show notes. I would love it if you could drop me a comment if you do use any of these tips and you find them helpful, or read any of the books. I would love to discuss them with you. But until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.